What if a simple, dusty box, lying forgotten on a doorstep, contained a golden key that could open a hidden door to magic? Tonight, we follow Lily as she unlocks a world beyond imagination. And one wish changes everything. That morning, Lily found a small wooden box resting quietly on her doorstep. No note, no name, no sign of who left it there. The box looked old, with rough edges worn by time, and a thin layer of dust that hinted it had traveled far. The sunlight was soft and pale, filtering through thin clouds overhead. Lily's heart skipped a beat when she saw the box. Her fingers trembled slightly as she reached out and lifted the lid. Inside, nestled on a bed of faded burlap, lay a single object, a shining golden key. Its surface glinted under the gentle light, reflecting a warm glow that seemed almost alive. Lily picked it up, holding it softly between her thumb and forefinger. At first, the metal felt cool, but then, as though waking from slumber, it warmed under her touch. She could almost hear a faint hum, as if the key recognized her, accepted her hand. A slow shiver ran down her back, not of fear, but of wonder. She glanced around. The street was empty. Gray clouds hung low in the sky, and a thin wind whispered through the narrow alley. The walls on either side stood silent, ancient stones cold beneath the morning chill. A distant bird cried faintly, and somewhere far off, a dog barked. But from where she stood, the world seemed paused, waiting. Lily's breath came quietly. She looked back at the key in her hand. The glow pulsed softly, like the heartbeat of something alive. She whispered to herself, almost in awe, "What does this open? Where does this belong?" Her mind stirred with questions. Was the key a mistake, dropped by someone? Or was it meant for her? The soft hum pulsed again. Lily closed her fingers around it, feeling its warmth against her palm. It felt like a promise, ancient, mysterious, powerful. She pressed the small key to her chest as if she could absorb its energy. The world around her, the silent street, the gray sky, the cold stones, all seemed ordinary. But the key felt anything but ordinary. It carried hope, possibility, magic. Lily's heart began to pound. She dared to dream. Maybe this is the key to something new, something special, something magical. She slipped the key carefully into her coat pocket. Her fingers lingered there, almost expecting a spark. Then she lifted the wooden box, closed the lid gently, and placed it back on the doorstep untouched. It would wait there. What it held was not the box, but the key. And the key was now hers. A breeze stirred, rustling fallen leaves along the narrow path. Lily took a step forward, then another. She looked back once, the street still silent, but the air around her felt changed. In that soft breeze, she sensed possibility. In that quiet street, she imagined adventure. Her footsteps echoed lightly on the cobblestones as she walked away, the key warm in her pocket, her mind alive with wonder. Lily didn't know where she was going. She didn't know what the key opened. But she felt something deep inside, a pull, a nudge, a call to explore. The ordinary morning had shifted into something magical. The golden key was a door waiting to be opened, not just to a door in a house, but to a story, to a possibility, to a change. Every step Lily took felt heavier, in a good way. Her senses sharpened. She noticed the faint scent of damp earth after last night's rain, the soft whisper of wind through cracks in old walls, the distant creak of wood somewhere behind closed doors. The key in her pocket seemed to glow a little more, as if alive to the sounds, the smells, the world waking around her. Her heart raced with questions. Who left the key? Why her? What secret did it hide? But more than fear or doubt, there was excitement, a flicker of hope, a longing to know. She realized this moment, standing on that quiet street with a golden key in her pocket, could be the beginning of something incredible, something beyond her ordinary life. With each breath, Lily felt more ready. She tightened her grip on her coat, took a steadying breath, and looked ahead. She didn't know the journey. She didn't know the door, but she was ready. Because sometimes, just sometimes, you must accept magic when it finds you. And Lily, with a shining key in her hand, decided she would. Lily walked slowly through the narrow lane of her village. The damp earth beneath her feet soft from last night's rain. The houses loomed on either side, old, Hunched buildings with cracked walls and wooden windows sagging on rusted hinges. Faint moss curled at the edges of shutters. The air smelled faintly of damp wood and cold stone, and a low wind stirred, carrying the distant creak of wood and a lonely crow's call. It was quiet, too quiet. The only sound was the soft scuff of her sandals on the cobblestones, and the gentle whisper of leaves stirred by the wind. Nothing moved. No children laughed, no animals scurried. Even the usual bustle of neighbors was absent. The lane seemed frozen in time, hushed as if holding its breath. As Lily rounded the last curve of the lane, past a broken fence and a leaning well, she spotted something strange. Half hidden behind overgrown vines and tangled ivy, near the end of the narrow path, was a door she had never noticed before. Its wood looked ancient. The green paint was cracked and peeling, revealing gray wood beneath. The hinges hung slightly askew. Rust had eaten away at their edges. There was no handle, no doorbell, no sign of recent use, only a small keyhole glinting faintly, as though it waited patiently for something. Lily froze. Her heart hammered in her chest. The dull morning light pressed cold against the scene. For a moment, the village seemed to retreat. The buildings moved toward the door. Vines, silence, all focused on that door. She took a shallow breath. Her mind raced. Could this be real? How did I never see this door before? A soft gust of wind rattled a dying leaf against the wood. The sound echoed almost like a whisper. Lily shivered. A mix of fear and curiosity surged inside her. She hesitated only a second. Then, carefully, she reached into her coat pocket. Her fingers closed around the golden key. It felt warm even through the fabric. Time seemed to stretch. Her vision narrowed. The worn wood door, the glint of the keyhole, the faint earth smell mingling with old wood. The golden key felt alive in her hand, pulsing a faint glow against her palm as if it recognized the door. She exhaled slowly, then lifted the key, and with a trembling hand, Lily inserted the key into the keyhole. The metal slid in easily as though guided by fate. A soft click, barely more than a sigh, sounded in the silence. The door responded almost instantly. It began to creak, slowly turning on its ancient hinges. Every grain of wood seemed to groan, every rusted hinge moaned. The doorknobless design made it difficult, but the key turned smoothly. Then the door swung open. No force, no shove, just a gentle swing as though the door unlatched itself. A warm golden light spilled out, glowing like candlelight against the dull gray of the empty street. The light beckoned, dancing quietly on the wet stones at Lily's feet. Lily felt a rush of emotions, surprise, wonder, a spark of fear, and above all, excitement. Her breath came quick but soft, her senses sharpened. The cold, damp air of the lane seemed to fade, replaced by a gentle warmth flowing from the door. The vines that hid the door whispered in the breeze. As the wood settled into its opening, she stood for a moment, heart pounding, staring at the golden light. The silence around her seemed louder now, the distant crow, the wind stirring the leaves, the faint drip of water from a broken gutter, all of it hushed by the brightness beyond the door. She felt drawn. The light promised something unknown, something different, maybe magical. Lily took a small step forward. Her foot touched the threshold of the door. The warmth spread, not just on her skin, but inside her chest. It felt like hope. One more breath. She moved her weight forward. The world behind her, the cracked walls, the empty lane, the mossy stones, receded. The golden glow enveloped her, carried her inside. As she stepped through the door, she closed her eyes for just a moment, letting the warmth seep deep into her bones. When she opened them again, she saw it. A place unlike any she had known. Dreamlike, alive, waiting. In that moment, Lily realized she had crossed a boundary. Not just a door, but the threshold between her ordinary world, gray stones, silent village, dusty houses, and something extraordinary. Something magical. And though her heart thumped with a mix of fear and wonder, she felt ready. Because what lay beyond the door wasn't just light. It was possibility. Lily stepped forward, and what she saw stole her breath. It was not a dusty, dark room as she had feared. Instead, before her stretched a garden, but not like any garden she had ever known. This was a place of wonder, as if someone had painted life itself into every leaf and petal. The light here was soft and golden, pouring through gaps in silver-leafed trees, whose branches arched overhead like graceful guardians. The leaves glowed faintly, as if each one held a tiny lantern. They shimmered, casting dancing patterns on the velvet grass beneath Lily's feet. The grass felt thick and plush, like the soft fur of a sleeping animal cushioning her steps. With each gentle crunch, soft enough to be a whisper, Lily moved deeper into the garden, her heart pounding with awe. All around her, flowers bloomed in colors she could barely name. Some petals glowed like pale moonlight. Others burst with fiery oranges and rich purples, as if the sun and the dusk had merged in a single blossom. Their shapes were strange and beautiful, some like delicate stars, others like ribbons fluttering in a breeze that only they could feel. Between the blooms, butterflies drifted lazily. Their wings glinted in hues of emerald and sapphire, and they moved as if following a silent melody only they could hear. Each flap was gentle, but when a butterfly passed close to Lily, she could feel a soft brush of warmth, a delicate living caress. The air smelled of honey and fresh rain, a scent so sweet and clean it made Lily's chest tighten. There was a hint of earth after rain, damp, rich soil, and mixed with it, a faint perfume of flowers and growing things. It felt alive. As she breathed deeply, the scent seemed to travel into her bones, giving a quiet comfort like coming home after a long journey. The soft breeze, warm but gentle, brushed her cheek, ruffling her hair. It carried the rustle of leaves, a soft sigh as if the garden itself was breathing. Lily closed her eyes for a moment, letting the breeze and scent fill her senses, grounding her in this magical world. She noticed a path ahead, golden stones laid in a gentle curve, leading deeper into the garden. Each stone glowed faintly, like embers in a hearth, warming the soles of her shoes as she walked. Lily followed the winding path slowly, each step feeling almost reverent, as though she were walking on sacred ground. The golden path curved around flowers and trees, weaving through shadows and glimmers, drawing her onward. With every turn, the garden revealed another wonder, a cluster of lavender-blue blossoms that hummed softly as butterflies brushed them, a small fountain whose water tinkled like soft chimes in a distant melody, petals drifting lazily on the surface. Then, near the center, Lily spotted a pond. Its surface was glassy, so still it looked like a mirror stretched across the earth. The water shimmered faintly, reflecting the glowing leaves and flowers, but with a twist. The reflections seemed to move slightly, as if alive. On the water floated lotus flowers, each petal radiating a soft glow, like tiny moons resting on liquid velvet. Lily inched forward, drawn by the silent pull of beauty and mystery. Her shoes sank gently in the grass as she knelt beside the pond's edge. The air above the water shimmered, tiny motes of light dancing like floating stars. Lily reached out her hand, trembling a little. Her fingers brushed the surface. The water was warm, gentle warmth, like a soft blanket wrapping around her fingertip. The moment she touched it, the pond rippled in slow circles, and the glowing lotuses quivered as though sighing. The lights beneath the water stirred, forming shimmering patterns. Lily gasped, her eyes wide. It was as if thousands of tiny stars were awakening under her touch. The water hummed with quiet power. The ground seemed to pulse beneath her, the air thick with magic. Butterflies fluttered closer, their wings casting shifting shadows on the water's surface. Leaves overhead rustled as though whispering secrets. The scent of blossoms grew richer, heavier, sweeter, like honey warmed by summer sun. Lily felt something inside her, a stirring, a soft thrill, a sense that she had discovered something ancient, beautiful, and alive. Her heart raced, not with fear, but with wonder. For a long moment, she just stayed there, hand on water, eyes on the glowing lotuses, senses alive with light, color, sound, scent. The garden felt alive as if greeting her. It wasn't silent. There was a soft hum, like distant bells or a lullaby woven from petals and leaves. It was peaceful, yet alive. Strong, yet gentle. Finally, Lily closed her eyes and let the magic wash over her. She felt calm, warm, humbled. This garden wasn't just beauty. It was hope. It was possibility. She had crossed from the gray, ordinary world into something extraordinary, a secret world of wonder. Slowly, she rose, her heart full. The glow of the trees, the shimmer of the flowers, the soft hum of wings and water, all etched into her memory. She knew this place would change her. She stepped away from the pond, following the golden stone path again, leaving behind ripples in the water and echoes of laughter she didn't quite hear, but feel. And as she walked deeper into the garden, with butterflies dancing around her, leaves whispering overhead and golden light at her back, Lily realized she was no longer just a visitor. She had become part of this magical world. Lily's eyes fell on a simple wooden sign near the pond, the words carved in graceful letters. "Speak your heart. Wish for kindness." The sign looked old and worn, its edges weathered by time, but somehow it glowed faintly in the soft golden light of the garden. Her heart thumped. A strange hush settled around her like the world paused to wait. She closed her eyes. The rustle of silver leaves above whispered like gentle wings. A breeze brushed her cheek. Somewhere, a soft drip of water echoed, maybe from a hidden spring or from the pond itself. The air smelled of wet earth, warm petals, and something ancient, the scent of magic. Lily's breath came slowly, quietly. In her mind, silent but sure, she spoke. "I wish for hope for my village. I wish I could help the lonely, the poor, and those who feel hopeless." Her wish felt small, humble. Yet as the last word echoed inside her, the garden seemed to stir. The glowing leaves glimmered brighter. The butterflies fluttered more gently. The pond, still as a mirror a moment before, began to shift. Lily opened her eyes. Her breath caught. On the water's surface, a single lotus flower rose slowly, petal by petal breaking free from the pond. It glowed, softly, warmly, casting light on Lily's face. The petals spread wide like a lantern opening at dusk. The glow pulsed, steady and calm. Time held still. Lily's hand tiptoed forward, trembling. She reached out. When her fingers brushed the lotus, a gentle warmth spread into her palm. It felt like a soft, friendly heartbeat, an energy alive, kind, waiting. A tingling warmth traveled up her arm, filling her chest. The garden exhaled. The air hummed. Then, just as slowly as it had risen, the lotus vanished. The glow flickered, then died on the water. The pond's surface settled back to calm like glass. Lily blinked. Her hand hovered in the air where the flower had been. For a heartbeat, she feared she had imagined it. But then, her fingers brushed something small and solid. Her heart raced again. She looked down. In her palm rested a tiny seed, not dull or brown, but shining, faint gold, glowing with a soft, steady light, pulsing like a quiet breath. Lily lifted the seed closer to her eyes. It was smooth, warm, alive. Light danced on its surface, shifting gently as if promising possibility. She felt a wave of emotion, surprise, gratitude, hope, a tender kind of awe. The garden around her seemed to lean in. The silver trees rustled as if whispering approval. The grass beneath her feet felt softer, more alive. Even the distant hum of insects or the whisper of wind seemed louder, more meaningful. For a moment, Lily simply stood, sleepwalking in wonder. The seed pulsed softly in her hand. The air smelled sweeter. The pond reflected a shy glimmer. The petals drifting on water's surface looked like stars fallen onto earth. Then reality, the garden, began to fade. Lily felt the light dim, the air cool. The magical glow around her softened. The butterflies drifted away, and the golden path stones lost their shine. Slowly, reluctantly, Lily turned toward the door, the same old green door she had passed through. With each step, the magic receded. The rustle of leaves faded, the soft hum died down. The pond's glassy surface returned. The petals vanished. The soft glow of the garden, the silver leaves, the golden path, the warm light, all melted into memory. When she reached the threshold, Lily hesitated, closing her eyes. She held the seed tightly, as if afraid it might slip away. Then, with a soft push, she stepped out. The garden vanished behind her. The door closed with a gentle whisper. The gray, empty street of her village greeted her again. Her breath came fast. Her coat felt heavier. The stones under her feet were cold and hard. Yet in her hand, pressing against her palm, was that tiny seed, glowing softly. Her heart felt full. She closed her fingers around it, careful, protective. The seed was more than a simple object. It was a promise of hope, of kindness, of change. The quiet gift of a magical garden, given to someone who dared to wish not for herself, but for others. As Lily walked away from the door, carrying the seed close to her heart, she felt the world around her, not quite the same. Somewhere in the air, in the dusty lane, in the cracked walls of old houses, hope felt possible. And maybe, with that seed, she could help plant it. Lily walked down the dusty lane of her village. The gray sky overhead, heavy and quiet. The old houses, with their cracked walls and fading paint, stood unchanged, as if time itself had forgotten this place. The air smelled of dry earth and stale dust. Nothing seemed different. But Lily felt a small pulse of hope inside her coat pocket. The tiny seed, alive and glowing faintly, warmed her hand like a hidden promise. After a few steps, she reached the small house of the old woman she had promised to help. The house was tiny and worn. Its wooden door hung loose on one hinge. The dirt floor uneven, the windows dusty and cracked. Two children peeked from behind the door frame, their eyes wary, clothes ragged, faces tired. The old woman stood beside them, her back bent, her eyes shadowed with worry. The weight of hunger and harsh days pressed visibly on her shoulders. Lily took a breath, steadying her heart. She crouched low, looking the old woman in the eyes. The children held their breath. Lily placed her hand gently on the woman's wrinkled hand. Her voice was soft but firm. "Please, plant this seed." She opened her palm to show the glowing seed. The faint light pulsed gently, like the soft heartbeat of something living. The old woman hesitated. For a moment, doubt flashed in her eyes, uncertainty, fear that it might be a trick, or that nothing would come of it. The children whispered softly behind her, shifting their feet on the dusty ground. Lily waited, silent, giving the seed its quiet dignity. Her eyes showed kindness, hope, and trust. Slowly, the old woman nodded. With careful, trembling fingers, she accepted the seed. Lily led them to a small clay pot near the door, cracked but intact. The air smelled of dust and dry clay. Lily helped scoop some soil into the pot, dark and soft, beneath her fingers. She placed the seed gently in the center, covering it with warm earth. The sun, though dim behind gray clouds, touched the little pot faintly. The children watched with wide eyes, their faces shifting between curiosity and disbelief. That night, as Lily walked away, she glanced back at the little house. The pot sat quietly by the door, a tiny hope resting in dull darkness. Inside her mind, she whispered a silent prayer for growth, for change. The next morning, Lily rose before dawn. A soft chill hung in the air. She hurried to the house, heart pounding with anxious hope. As she approached, she saw something that made her gasp, a tiny green shoot, fresh, bright green, pushing delicately through the soil in the pot. It trembled as though waking from a long sleep. The soft morning light touched it gently, giving it a pale glow against the dirt. The old woman stood by, her eyes wide and shining. The children pressed close, whispering in wonder. The shoot swayed slightly in the cold morning breeze, leaves tiny but strong. Lily reached out, brushing her fingertip along a leaf. It felt alive, soft, and real. A sweet scent of earth and promise filled the air. Over the next days, the plant grew quickly. Each morning, Lily saw it taller, stronger. Its leaves unfurled bright and proud. Soon it bore small fruits, strange, shining fruit that looked almost like little droplets of golden light. Water pooled in a leaf cup, clear and fresh. Vegetables sprouted too, clean, green, full of life. The house that once echoed with quiet. Hunger now hummed quietly with the rustle of leaves, the soft clink of cooking pots, the laughter of children playing near the door. Inside the little home, change began to grow. The family drank the clean water from the plant's leaf cup. They cooked fresh vegetables, their faces soft with relief. The old woman's back straightened a little. The children's cheeks looked fuller, their eyes brighter. Warmth filled the house, not just from firewood, but from hope renewed. The dull dust on the floor seemed less heavy, the cracked walls less oppressive. Lily visited often, Every time she came, the plant had grown a little more. Its glow seemed steadier. The children ran out to greet her, smiling. The old woman's voice, once soft and cautious, now had strength. Each visit reminded Lily how fragile hope can be, and how strong kindness can make it. One evening, Lily stood by the little pot, watching the plant stretch toward the dim sky. She felt a deep warmth inside her chest, not because of magic, but because of love, care, and community. She understood now the seed's power was real, but its magic worked only through hope and giving, like light breaking through clouds, like water after drought. She didn't plant the seed for herself. She planted it for others, for hope, for life, for kindness. And that, Lily realized, was the greatest magic of all. As dusk settled, the house glowed softly from within. The children's laughter drifted through open windows. The old woman hummed quietly as she cooked. The warm scent of cooking food blended with earth and greenery. Outside, the street looked the same, dusty, quiet, gray. But inside that small home, life bloomed. Lily turned away softly, putting one hand on her heart. The seed lay empty now, but inside her breast bloomed a garden of hope. She walked through the silent village, the night cool on her skin but warm in her spirit. She knew she had planted more than just a seed in soil. She had planted trust, kindness, and a promise. And sometimes, a single act, small and gentle, can change a life. Magic isn't always what we expect. It doesn't always glow or shine. Real magic lives in our hearts, in kindness, hope, and caring for others. Lily kept the golden key safe. She didn't know if she could ever return to the magical garden, but she understood something important. When you help someone, plant a seed of hope, you become a little magic yourself. So remember, sometimes, the smallest things, a key, a seed, a kind act can change a life. And when you believe in good and kindness, that's your true magic. Thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you like my video. It's our first video. Please subscribe our channel for more curiosity and lesson-able stories. Also like and share videos with your community.